Now look at your situation. I'm presenting you with an alternative that is not of the earth. Now you can choose. This is the Course in Miracles. Why? Because each time you direct yourself to the limited association, you can say to yourself, what am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And don't try and con yourself if you're getting the satisfaction of your own association. The release of that will give you the miracle, and then you can move from time to eternity. Curiously, if you will allow the Course in Miracles, or as I am directing you now, to be a product of your own mind, the solution will be very simple. Okay? It is impossible that I am telling you this without you having instructed me to tell you this. That's literally true. Are you okay with that? You can deny it, and you will give me any credence that you want, but I am teaching an impossible message here. Everyone must come to know that the world's not real. Well, why wouldn't that make you feel good? Why, good. And the better it makes you feel, the less you'll participate in your own death. But each time you attempt to do it, there's a lovely place in the Course where Jesus says, suddenly all of the things around you will say, don't look up. Don't leave us. We demand that you stay in this association. Isn't that true? That's what's happening to all you guys now. All of your previous frames of reference were based on death. So you have plenty of constitution that's going to say, what are you doing? You're abandoning your previous dedication to death and sickness and pain and cancer. You're saying, no, I'm not going to do that. Okay, and there's a certain dedication to fear. There's a need for you to sacrifice somewhere. You feel the satisfaction of the exchange, don't you? You like the idea that you're giving something to get something back. You can take credit then in the association of your own mind, and you do. And that's okay, but it's pretty small. Key, you can't get back more than you asked for. And if you ask to be in heaven, it's impossible that you're not there. But you gotta want it. And the only manner in which can be taught is to teach you don't want this, because there is no connection between the two. Got it? There is no connection between this association and perception and reality. None. Except the momentary time when you, what? Release your own perceptual associations. At that moment, at that holy instant, you're whole, aren't you? So if we can get you starting now to relieve yourself of the necessity for preconception and really start to do the workbook, so that when you come into a situation like this, you won't immediately demand a reciprocal identity with what constitutes your reality, because you're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. All you're doing is saying to me, my reality as I sit here is going to be based on the things that I brought in here from my other experience, right? And they're gone. How do you do? How can you stand that? What's lesson number 5? It says you've got a resentment about that because it's already gone and you can't go back and change it. And I'm telling you that you can change it very simply. Okay? This is what you call, see if you can hear this. One of the lessons, one of the beginning statements of what a miracle is. Here's number 13. Shows you that a miracle is the alteration of temporal order. Okay? If you come into a situation and release the past will change in the present and change the future. Can you see that? That's a miracle. Are you actually changing what happened previously? Of course. If you think it's there, why not change it? Remember that you are bringing the resentment, okay, the need to get even, what you call the balance of the perceptual mind, what you call the first covenant, an eye for an eye, the wrathfulness of the need to associate with the projection. You get to the teachings of Jesus Christ, oh, it's nothing but love. Give up and don't resist your own inclinations to defend yourself. Just let that go. All right. Then the miracle happens. And it's happening right here now, very extensively. Okay, this world is over any minute here. This was going to be gone. I didn't want to tell you that until you came in here. That's kind of scary, isn't it? Yeah. This is over. We came to tell you that this segment is over. What a terrible idea. It was just a dream. We're striking the set. It's going. Look at it. You know this is not, you know this is a dream. If you guys that are here, if you got this far, you ought to be able to really look at this. How the hell could this be real? You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You're a little film of a poison breather in some sort of constitution of a body. You can't go a mile down. You can't go 2 miles up outside 1,000 trillion stars that you know about. And here you sit in this little mind. Why would you want to hold on to that? Because you're afraid you'll die if you let it go. Why don't you just let it go and see what happens? Hmm? The problem can't be solved by annihilation, can it? That's terrible. The teachings of the Course are directly this. Since an idea never leaves its source, every idea that has ever been had by any perceptual mind in all of space-time is what you are. You can drag up all sorts of ones. You can reject other ones and say, that is not me. You can project them onto the other association and deny that it's you if you want to. But it is you. Not only is it you, but if you're causing pain, you're getting the pain that's happening to you. And I don't mean it's reciprocal. I mean the pain is happening to you right now. Those of you who have felt your brother's pain have become teachers of God simply because you've tried to alleviate the pain that you feel for yourself and your brothers. You've reached a point finally where you've discovered the pain is not alleviatable. At most, you can die to get out of it. Isn't that so? The healers are gone. And it's going back to them. I used to work with impaired physicians, real healers. And they have very high suicide rate because they discovered no matter what they healed, it always died. No matter what they did with it. They want to heal, they want to bring it about, but they couldn't. They always failed. That's very frustrating. Because you guys are fundamental miracle workers. You really want to heal the world. You couldn't have gotten this far. You're all saviors of the world. That's why you're here. Okay. You want the job. You wanted the job. Stay with me. It's impossible that you didn't want the job, or why are you here doing it? You really, really have in your mind that you can bring about a change in the civilization of the world that will help it. Otherwise, you couldn't be here with me. And I'm telling you, yeah, that's true, that you can do that. But it requires what? An experience of the transformation of your mind. An enlightenment, a resurrection, a forgiveness, Can it be okay now that knowledge or love or truth could be gained by an actual transformation of mind where you wouldn't be too threatened by that? That's kind of hard, isn't it? If I sit here with you, somewhere in your perceptions, you want to know how this came about. Okay? What did you do? Who are you? What's your identification? I've been doing this long. What did you do in order to bring this about? And if I tell you positively, absolutely, in the certainty of my whole mind that I had nothing to do with it, you will not let me do that. You will not let me. You will demand an association in order to either credit me with something or deny something to me. That's called an idol. You need to have an idol in your, this is all pure course now. You need to have an idol that you can share an apparent reality with and subsequently deny. Because if you made the admission just for a moment that what I'm telling you is true, you'd spring into heaven. See, your association with authority or total authority, what you call totalitarianism, is one of protective attack and defense. You see? Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Crap. Absolute power is God. It has nothing to do with corruption at all. Yet you are threatened by the authority of a non-judgmental reality. You demand an association in your mind that will verify an authority that says nothing to you except you're the only living Son of God and you never left home. And you're home with God. Wake up and come on home. Why do I have to say something else to you? Okay? You're so deep in your reflected association in your own chaotic forms, what? You can't hear it. You have no frame of reference for this message. It's not light enough for you to see. It keeps running into what? Your previously constructed thought forms. Okay? Now you look through a mirror darkly. Okay? If you're looking at me, are you giving me identity, or are you evolving the miraculous capacity to release our apparent exchange of identity? Course in Miracles, isn't it? Yeah, certainly. It's not kicking the sin out there and then trying to forgive it. That's crazy. You'll never do it. You are totally justified in defending yourself if you are actually being attacked. And if you try to teach the Course that way, you're going to be here a long time. Practicing forgiveness makes absolutely no sense. You've got to start with the fundamental premise of subjective reality, that you're the cause of it. Then you can come to know there's nothing to forgive. Otherwise, there is something to forgive, and you have every right to demand it. And you do. And then, bless your hearts, you try to practice, I've got to forgive it, even though you'll never do it. You can't. It's not forgivable. You understand? It's not forgivable. If it's real, it's not forgivable, right? If God really had anything to do with this world, I don't want anything to do with him. I knew that 40 years or 50 years ago. Somebody said, well, that's God's will, and he does whatever he wants to. That's crap. No, I have a right to know what my qualifications to be in heaven are, and nobody would ever tell me. See how simple this is? What are your qualifications to be with God in heaven? Answer. Anyone? None. None. You have none. No, the qualifications are none. That's not tolerable to you. Because you have qualifications in your condition of mind. Okay? In the Eastern traditions, there's a lovely guy that teaches this to the point where you can't get it. See, he's very much aware that, who is that? The sweet guy. Krishnamurti. He's undergoing all of these experiences, but he's holding on to a self-identity. Any reasonable mind can see that God is not perceptual, that he doesn't have moving parts, that you can't compare the wholeness of God with something else, that he's just singularly whole. That's not hard to do. Why would it be? See, it's an abstraction. All right. The problem is not that. If you stay with the idea of transcendentalism, you cannot know God, but you can then go to I can be God. Okay. You have to make that step. That's what the Course in Miracles does through Christianity. It teaches existentialism. Can you get this? It teaches cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. The question is, what the hell am I and what am I thinking? The Course answers, you are nothing and you're thinking nothing. That's the first 10 lessons of the workbook. Am I getting anywhere at all? Yeah. Hell, I don't know. You just keep batting your head up against it. Why? You have previous associations in your mind. They're going to protect you and guarantee your heart attack. And you feel very resentful if I tell you you can't die. And the manner in which you will prove that I am wrong is by killing me. Can you hear this? I'm teaching pure course now. Face it, you crucify the Christ each moment. Okay? If anything dies, everything dies. Can you see this? You are going to prove I'm wrong about this by saying, look at all the things dying around you. How dare you teach that when all of these lovely souls are going to have to go out and die? Somebody accused me. I'm teaching the course. Somebody accused me saying, how dare you teach that this is the moment of salvation and we're all going to be in heaven when you know very well that they're going to have to go out and get sick and get old and die. No, you're not going to do that. No, there's no such thing as a future. Everything that you can ever do, you're doing right now. There isn't anything else. No? You're going to prove I'm wrong about this. How? You're going to get up and run out into the world and do all sorts of things and get cancer and die. But you're going to prove I'm wrong, but you'll be dead. What the hell good does that do you? When you really get into the text, when you begin to let your mind think this way, you'll be astonished how much of this is in the whole. This is nothing but the text. Life based on death is absolutely meaningless. Everybody walks around here and says, I'm not dead yet. It doesn't really make any sense. How you doing? Well, how good are you at keeping God from being totally here? You know, how much are you able to defend yourself from reality? You say, well, you're exaggerating. Wrong. I'm not. If anything, I'm trying to hold it down to give you some sort of perspective. This is not a real place. Huh? You got it? I just stopped by to tell you this is not a real place. I stopped by to tell you it's not a real place. Okay? You don't have to know what the other place is like. You can't know what the other place is like. Okay? But this place is not real, and it is at your command to change your mind about this, because this world is your mind. Now, I don't care whether you believe this, but you pick up the book and start teaching it, and it'll happen. Why? This world is your mind. And there is a God, and it is real, and there is a heaven, and you are there, and it's going on right now. But you're in this lesson 130. The two worlds do not know each other. But that does not mean that the other world is not going on now. And what you're actually experiencing are glimpses of heaven. And you're bringing your constitutional unreality with it, because it's a thought form in time that you have perfected in a whole relationship with your own mind. And you will actually set up quadrants in time of what Jesus calls a borderland, where your minds together will share this new reality that has nothing at all to do with this dimensional association in time. Can you hear me at all? This is a hologram. I'll do it that way. Okay? This is nothing but a hologram, an association of 9 dimensions. Okay? Father, Son, and Spirit, Father, Son, and Spirit, Father, Son, and Spirit. 9-dimensional association plus the 10th dimension, which is time. All of it is going on all the time and is changing each moment. Tomorrow we'll do some quantum so you can actually get an idea that this is not solid, that there's just as much distance in your microcosm as there is in 50 million thousand light years, you see, and that they're the same thing. Okay, and then when you read the sentence, the body's not real, you are not a body, you begin to say, no, I'm not. I'm a mind. What will the body do? It'll be perfect. What is there to stop it if you were the conflict? That's how the miracle works.